Ustazah Liyanah. Welcome to the show.
Wow.
There is a perception that females in the faith tend to be put into a slightly more submissive role.
A women's world from an Islamic perspective is not restraining but rather protection.
Is it getting tougher and tougher to be a Muslim in today's world?
I feel that we are losing touch with the actual religion. Shame upon you for even sharing that.
Queer Muslims, they don't know where they fit. Do they have space?
In Islam, because we have a certain set of rules to follow. It's an instruction from my God and I'm perfectly happy to follow it.
So a few years ago, we actually had Ustaz Luqman join us on the show, and today we actually are going to explore a very interesting side that I think is not as much talked about in media, and that is what does it really mean or look like to be a female Muslim in Singapore.
Yeah.
And so today we have with us the founder of the Haya Network, Ustazah Liyanah. Welcome to the show!
Hey, thank you for having me.
To kick us off, can you kind of share what is the main differences between an Ustazah and an Ustaz?
Well, first, gender for sure. Ustaz, Ustazah. As for Ustazah, it's a little bit difficult for us because somehow we have children, we have partners, we have families, we are carrying different roles and responsibilities. So some things we can do, some things we cannot do. One of the things that are different is that we cannot lead a prayer in mosques. So there are 71 mosques in Singapore. We cannot be leading any of the 5 daily prayers, and we cannot have male congregation behind us. Yeah, the Friday sermons that you see so many Muslims coming together, a female cannot be the one reading out or reciting the Friday sermons. Another example is we cannot officiate a Muslim marriage. So we can attend a Muslim marriage, but we cannot be the one that say, okay, congratulations, you guys are married. Yeah, so we can teach, we can preach, we can support, we can nurture, but some of the bigger roles with regards to the bigger and larger congregation, we cannot do that.
Am I able to ask why? Because I think one of the bigger misconceptions that we do want to debunk today is that there is a perception that like maybe females in the faith tend to be maybe a bit more restrictive or put into a slightly more submissive role. That's the perception.
We interrupt this episode to carry on our mission for Operation SOP, which is anti-scam and scam awareness. I have just found out that John Paul, he did not set up his WhatsApp 2-step verification.
I'm waiting to do it with our viewers.
No, I just tested. I just asked him just now. No, did you? He didn't. Okay, I want to say scams happen across every platform, but if you use WhatsApp very often, of course you gotta do this.
Okay.
So everybody, we're gonna do it together.
Let's
with
go.
John Paul.
Yeah.
So you open up your WhatsApp.
Open WhatsApp.
Bottom right, settings.
Settings.
Then you click account, then 2-step verification.
Okay, so turn on, press the pin.
Press the pin.
Okay, press already. Then they're asking for email.
Correct.
In case I forget my pin.
In case you forget your pin, they'll still email it to you. So many people, right, were hesitant to set up this pin because they think that every time they open up their WhatsApp, they'll need to key in a pin. But that's not true. Basically, this pin comes into effect whenever you change device, like you change a new phone.
Okay.
About once a week, they will ask you for your pin.
Yeah.
They ask this just so you don't forget what your pin is.
Right.
That's it. Okay, so this pin is to make sure that in case your OTP get compromised, there is another password that's only in your head.
Okay.
So you set this up so that we protect our family and friends, because most people fall to scams because they think that is their friend asking for money.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have all set up, back to the episode.
I think the word that we would use is not restraining but rather protection. Because in the religion, men have to take care of women. Like how you would treat your mother, you love her, you adore her.
That's right.
You respect her, and for us it's a lot of compromise, but some people, they don't see it as compromise, they see it as that's their way of, that's their choice, that's their preferred choice. People think that it's the most difficult religion to be in, and it's very constricting. Yeah, because we have a certain rules and set of rules to follow. I wouldn't say it as rules, I would say it as an instruction from my God, and perfectly happy to follow it. People still see us as the halal haram walking crew. It's more than that. It's more than that, you know, to the fact that to say thank you when Denise give me the water, that is Islam. Like, you know, to drink with the right hand, that is Islam. You take care of yourself, you take care of the honor of being a Muslim woman, a Muslim man, and whatever that he has instructed us to do is within our capacity.
Can I take a step back and ask, right? How do you even become a ustazah? Like, is this something you knew you wanted to do as you grew up?
I think my parents forced me to be in this religious school, but I love every bit of it. When I started the network, I wanted to be like the halal version of Oprah Winfrey. So like
That'll do it.
halal version of like, oh, look at her supporting women. Now I can do the same too. She has her own publication, her own magazine, her own TV show, her own lectures. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I found the actual purpose when I did my very first convention. It was about the women's worth from an Islamic point of view. It was my first ever event. I guess no one knew who I was, but it was a sold out event of 600 sisters. So that was when I realized, oh, there's a demand. People actually want to know. People actually are ready for this kind of difficult conversation. So I designed the content in a way that a women's world from an Islamic perspective, from the view of a wife, the view of a daughter, the view of a mother, and the view of a single lady. Ta-da!
It's so funny how you organize the event first, then realize
Yes,
it was sold out already.
at that point of time, I was looking for answers. I didn't want to look at books. I just want to listen to someone, sorry to say, who are not from the West. Someone who I can relate to. You know, someone who's close to me, either from Singapore, from Malaysia, went through similar to what I went through. I want to feel connected, and I couldn't find any. So I said, okay, let's do something. So I connected with a few other religious teachers. I wanted it to be a full-on 100% female event. Even the tech guy cannot be a tech guy. I was like, tech girl, like women
empowerment.
Yoo-hoo. Right? And it happened. Yeah. So that was, it continued. And then I realized to work on my own is not possible. So that's why we joined forces with the team of psychotherapists, counselors to offer a more holistic support for the Muslim women.
Was there a lot of resistance? Were there members of the community that felt like this is not okay? Was it quite easy of a journey?
It was quite difficult because she's pushing the feminism role a little too much.
Right.
Yeah, but then it's not. I made it very clear, like we need men need women. You cannot just, and at that point of time, I think when I fronted the convention, I was already known as a single mother. So the more they're saying that, okay, this is a personal agenda, like she's upset with men, so she wants to go all out. Yeah.
What was the gap? Like what was missing in the world that the higher network was filling?
The merge and the sinking of religion and psychosocial aspects.
Right.
For example, if I go to one person, it's strictly what the religious say. If I go to a counselor, it's strictly what the book says. I want to see the interconnectedness of things. Yeah. So if my student come to me, she wants to learn the holy book, but she's also struggling with self-confidence.
Okay.
She's also struggling with, a child who has autism, for example. So you cannot just see the Muslim women just as a single Muslim woman and religion is the only answer. It's everything else. Yeah.
So because of the main part of your work, right? I think you've guided so many people throughout like their Islamic faith for over a decade already.
I hope
what
so.
What do you feel is the most common, I guess, question or the point that most people get a bit stuck on?
Why God wrote this destiny for me? It's like if He can write something more pleasant, why He chose this path? Like why can't He be kinder? The biggest question is always why me? So a mother who has 5 children with autism, a husband who is addicted to pornography, or a husband who suddenly decided that I want to change my gender. So the questions are always, because they're not able to deal with the current realities, they had to blame it on something bigger. So they're like, why would God do this to me? Why wouldn't He be kinder?
And how do you normally answer that? Because I think a common question that a lot of religions actually get is how could a God create a world like this that has maybe disasters and tragedy, while also preaching about like happiness and heaven and all that? Like how do you actually reconcile these two things?
One of the things that we focus on is you cannot appreciate a peace if you don't experience pain. That relief of receiving a good news after the uncertainty of what could happen, that relief is a form of mercy from God. So it's a part of you. Like when you are anxious, there is a form of relief that comes after the anxiousness. There is beauty in heat after you went through shivering cold. There is beauty in shivering cold after you went through heat. So that is how we call it the sunnah of life. It's like that's the way of life. Like you appreciate good friends after you went through betrayal from friends from before. Right. You appreciate a good relationship after you went through the most horrific relationship from before. So the appreciation comes in at a later part. And when God gives you things, it's not always in beautiful packages. You expect it to come with ribbons and with lavender scented papers. But
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, God is saying that no, that's not what you need. We wanted a medium rare beef, but God is saying no, it's going to be harmful for you. It has to be fully cooked. One of the main philosophy in Hayat Network is it's not about correcting. So if that is a perspective that they have, we cannot immediately like correct or undo what they are feeling, but it's more about attending. Right. So we're like, okay, what's going on? Where is the pain coming from? Can you describe what your pain is? Is it betrayal? Like, is it you feel betrayed by your husband? Is it you feel betrayed by the religion? So it's more of peeling the onion skin or layer bit by bit. And then you figure out it's basically not anger towards God. It's basically just the grieving of how their life is turning out completely different than what they prayed for. So it's a lot of attending, and sometimes some of the cases we have in our clinic, it takes 10 years because they went through different transition in life. So we had to make sure we literally hold their hand, hold their thoughts. From engagement to marriage, from marriage to divorce, from divorce to second marriage. And so we literally go through the transitions of people's lives. And I believe that's the duty of a religious teacher. You cannot just let go. It's not a transaction. You know, they are done with one problem and then they left. It's not a transaction. You have to make sure they are okay. They're doing well internally, externally. So the attending is a difficult part of our work because I think as a religious teacher, you are expected to be everything. You are the insurance agent. You are the doctor. You even choose the color of the house. Like, what color do you think angels would feel comfortable in? It's like you literally have to choose. Because I think as long as you carry the name Ustazah, suddenly everything you say become holy. So the community actually listens to you. Yeah,
that's a huge amount of pressure on everything you say.
It is. There's almost 6,000 of us, 6,000 registered Asatizah in Singapore. It's not easy to be us because we are constantly expected to answer the most different vast of questions.
So is there an answer to what color my house should be?
And basically, like, what do you think? Like, because it's not feng shui, but it's like what do you think, Ustazah? Or where should I park the what is it? Because they want to face the Qiblah, the compass, right? But then my toilet is faced this way. So this kind of like little details that they wanted to ask. Yeah.
So they find you at the mosque.
More social media is where I think.
Oh, like they have to set an appointment with you.
They have to book a session for therapy. My team is available for therapy, but mostly I'm available for my classes. Okay, we are known because of our big talk. So for example, in one class, we can have 400 sisters coming in.
Wow.
And then we...
Oh, that's a lecture.
It's a lecture. So I just finished a 5 weeks lecture at one of the mosques in Singapore. We have around 400 coming every week. Wow. So they want to learn how to perform their prayers better. But it's not just prayer. It's more than that. Like what you bring into the prayer. So the more we connect with them, it was weeks, right? The more you know that, they're actually bringing their frustration of not praying earlier. Or they're actually bringing their frustration of how come my parents didn't teach me earlier. They're bringing the worry about how do I teach my children in an era where everyone's doing the 67 trend? How do I make my children, be appreciating prayer? I just found out about that trend. I didn't know what it was.
I still don't understand.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Apparently there's no meaning.
You can't nothing out here. Ustazah say 6'7", man.
What is it? I need to know what it is, Raja.
It's a song that was made by a rapper, and then there was a basketball player who's 6'7", and they made edits about him, and then some kids went.
Is it clean? Is it a clean trend?
Yeah, it's just a way to say 50-50, you don't know. Yeah, it's a way for, but it's very contextual. It can mean anything. And this might mean nothing.
It's like skibidi or all these brain rot words.
Yeah, I would argue on a literary perspective that skibidi means something, but 6-7 really means nothing. It's just
No,
It's
you all know
innocent.
last time there was a song that was trending. So skididi pa pa.
Okay, so
yes,
that's not hot.
men's not hot. Men's not
By
hot.
Shaq. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus.
Then it became a trend also. It's not the same thing. I imagine these two to be the same thing.
Is it?
What is that cultural
I think 6-7 is this generation's men's not hot.
you will be slated for that.
Thank you.
When they come to our religious lectures, it's more than that. They carry not just the head of how do I be a good servant, but they carry the multiple roles that they are playing, performing at the same time. So usually from the big talks, then they would translate to therapy, private therapy sessions. Yeah, individuals first, and then they would bring their couples, or then they would bring their entire family. We've had session before where the father, the grandmother, the husband,
Family
Wow, 3
therapy.
generations.
the whole family is there.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's how system works, because for us it's very, you cannot just look at one system. Like an individual has many other systems connected to her. So we have to figure out what's going on everywhere else.
Is therapy a welcome thing amongst Muslims?
I would say nowadays, yes. Before this, it was an aib. It's a dishonor. It's like you cannot do this. You cannot share with others that you are struggling with mental health, because this should be kept in secret underneath the rugs. No one should know about it. So the Arabic word is aib. Shame upon you for even sharing that your husband has addiction to pornography, for example.
Right.
But then for us, in our religion, we believe that it's not a shameful thing to do if you are seeking professional for help. But if you rant about it on social media, you do a poll about it, should I divorce or should I not divorce? You know, that is
That's
horrific.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
yeah.
But
That's
I
not
think
aight.
now more and more people are getting embracing seeking therapy. But we also have this other realm of, you know, the community that says, oh, this is not therapy related, this is black magic related. My children have been possessed. Yeah. So instead of seeking professional help or professional intervention first, they actually go to that side of healing.
I see.
How would you deal with those if someone came to you and said, I think my child is possessed by a jinn or something?
Ask some questions first, and then, you know, as we believe that if you recite some Quranic verses, there are some form of reaction, but we cannot see reaction all the time. Sometimes the jinn decided to not show up and run away from therapy clinic. So it's
Convenient.
sometimes
Jinn is ghost.
jinn is like the spirit.
Yeah, spirit.
But it's good to see that in Singapore, we are working together. So the spiritual healers and the asatiza, the religious teachers, and the Muslim therapist counselors are working together. So we believe, okay, this one we tried. We tried even with prescription medication. I don't think it's that. So we refer and support each other.
I also feel like with a lot of this, because like you talked about bringing in the I guess what was it, like psychosocial aspect of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And it feels like it's trying to bring the religion to a way that it's still relevant in the modern era. Do you think Islam, as with other religions, struggle with that?
I believe so. I think right now, in the idea of being successful and you've made it in life, they have to choose something else and they have to compromise the religion part. I think that's the struggle.
Okay.
But you cannot, it's not a separate thing. Like, it's religion is not a burden, it's a part of you. And surprisingly, although my entire team in the clinic is all female, we have quite a number of male clients as well, and non-Muslims coming in.
Okay.
So that just shows the beautiful Singapore spirit.
Yeah.
I sound like a politician right now. Singapore spirit. Yeah, it's true. And it's very humbling to witness men actually coming in, crying in our clinic. I mean, because they think that we are a Muslim women front, that we don't care for men. But now, if you notice in our clinic, we are seeing more and more women who are the perpetrators actually than men. Yeah, the cheating is the opposite now. Women are now cheating instead of men.
If I can jump on Dan's previous question a bit, right? I think
Hop on.
as in, I'm wondering, like, is it getting tougher and tougher to be a Muslim in today's world, right? Where I think, you know, you go online and then people are saying, female empowerment, don't let a man tell you what to do. Like, you know, you are just being submissive. Especially maybe Western media, they are painting the faith in such a different light, right? A bad
If
light.
you ask me, I think it's not about fighting the the Western culture. It's about how do we sustain the core of the religion. That is my biggest struggle, because I feel that we are losing touch with the actual religion. For example, now with the availability of AI, people are now going there instead of the actual book. Like, okay, give me all the verses in the Holy Book of Quran about paradise.
On ChatGPT.
On ChatGPT.
Right.
You get immediate, but the sweetness of actually flipping through the pages and understanding why some verses of paradise is here, why some of it is here. No one's actually appreciating the processes anymore.
The context.
So religion becomes a little bit more of like spoon fed. I need the religion to solve this issue right now. And if the answer is not working anymore, okay, I'm sorry, I need to start a new transaction. That's not what religion is. It's a part of you. You discover sweetness of it bit by bit every day.
I know some queer Muslims in over the years that of going to school and all that, and they are basically very pious. They basically pray 5 times a day. They follow all the rules that should be followed. The only thing is that their orientation is they're not straight. That's all. And when we speak to them and when they speak, and we always like try to get through this conversation of, do you feel accepted? And usually they're like, no, my family, I can't really be open with them.
I see.
I have to keep it. And one thing is your family, yes, but does your faith also make you feel welcome? And they're like, I don't know if I go there, I'm quite like it's a guy who's a bit effeminate. And they're like, I'm scared. Should I go or should I not go? And I know these people, some of them, they watch and they're like, they don't know where they fit.
There's religion is the kind one, but people who practice religion are the unkind ones. Like there are different types of sins. In Islam, we know that there are different types of sins. But why are some sins being zoomed in a little too much than other sins? Talking bad about other people on social media is also a sin. But because everyone's normalizing it, you're a good Muslim, you can enter paradise. But if you say someone who has changed identity, you're the horrible Muslim, you should just let go of Islam. So why do we as a community decide which sin is bigger than the other? That is our focus in Haya. Like if anyone wants to come back to the religion, you welcome them no matter what. They might take 10 months, they might take 10 years, but who are you thinking that you're holier than the other person? We have a lot of LGBTQ++ cases in Haya. They come to us knowing that we are all, female Muslim. We teach religion. And who are we to shun them away? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I have one story to share. So basically, I have a student. She actually ate things to make herself even look more, what's that word? Masculine, manly. And I know she actually went to the mosque, to the female area. She wanted to pray. But she was being chased away by one auntie that said, hey, you don't belong here. You belong to the male section, which is level 1. So in mosque, we have separated section, right? Because of how she looks like, she was being chased away to go to level 1, to the male section. And this was during the process that she's trying to come back to God. She was in the process of figuring out herself. So I know her processes. So I said, okay, you can go to mosque, find a space of healing. It took a lot of courage for her to enter a mosque. And for them, it's like a mosque is a holy, sacred area. I'm not worthy to enter. That was in her position. So finally, after I think weeks of supporting and attending, she finally went. Of all the time that auntie has to be there, right? So she was there. I said, so what did you do? Because the moment you wear the hijab, people don't know already what. So she can cover herself already. So you know that she's a Muslim woman when you wear it, say, to pray. But this one, the auntie saw that she was about to wear it and still make that comment. So the auntie should have known that you're a woman, that's why she's wearing it, right? And then she said she left crying and she swore not to enter the mosque again. And that was when, okay, this is, what am I going to do? Call her in, find a time that she can make it, I can make it, find a time that she feels celebrated. So it was actually one of the days in the fasting months where everyone was extra happy, I guess, because it's a beautiful, calmer month. So she came. She didn't change anything. She didn't try to change anything. I said, just be yourself. So I brought her. And of course, people, I think by then know me. They were greeting, hello, Ustazah, hello, Ustazah. Of course, questioning who's next to me. So I introduced, I said, oh, this is a new friend. and she prayed. That was the start of it. But that cannot happen all the time. I cannot be there to accompany all the 6,000 Asatiz. I cannot be there to accompany all of those struggling. But it's still a struggle. People still speak whatever they want to speak without filtering. You're at a holy space. It's about to be the timing of the prayer. And yet you pass that judgment. And was there a recovery after you saw the girl went off the mosque crying? There wasn't. So there are still, you're Muslims, but at the end of the day, you're humans, and then you have your, I wouldn't say flaws, but you have some things that could have been better, I guess. Yeah.
I want to bring it back to a little bit more basic question, because I think that there might be people who maybe didn't watch our previous episode with the Ustaz, and I think a lot of people are curious. There was a famous clip that just went out about, I think, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar's wife, Wan Aziza. She politely declined the handshake of presidency from China. And so I think a lot of people were like, oh, okay, is that because Muslim women can't shake the hands of other men besides husband? What's the etiquette around that?
It will nullify our ablution because we have to pray 5 times a day. So after we take our ablution, any what's that thing? Contact with men will nullify our ablution. So we have to retake our ablution for prayer. Yeah, so it's more of like protection because I have prayers in 1 hour time, in 2 hours time. We also believe that contact is for our loved ones, our husband.
Reserved for loved ones.
Reserve, yes, that's a beautiful word. Yeah.
So then if like a guy, a non-Muslim guy, unaware of the etiquette, extends a hand, how would a Muslim woman...
One of the example, respectfully, we can say, just do like this, smile. But I think it's also in Islam to not... cannot. It's not something dirty or it's not, don't put it in that manner. Example, there are some Muslim women who also embrace the handshake. So out of respect, with no other intention, it's really out of respect. In our religion, we are very big on what's the purpose of the intention behind your action. We believe that we will be rewarded for every intention that is pure. Yeah, so if the intention was to not disrespect that person, because sometimes it gets confusing. How come some people shake hands, some people don't shake hands? There are some people who are happy with you doing this. There are some people who insist you to have their handshake. No, you better leave it there. So even you bow and bow and bow. They don't get it. So it's human cues. It's human cues. Yeah. If that person is comfortable to shake hands because they have a different perspective and thoughts, okay, shake hands. But if that person already bows super low, what more you want? Get the message.
So it's just easier to shake hands and explain.
Should be a
clear sign.
So sometimes we try to be okay, sorry, like that. But they still don't understand. They do the same and they like that.
While we're on the topic of basic questions, one thing I noticed when I've gone to weddings of multiple faiths, the one thing I noticed is that only like a Muslim marriage, right, is that there was 10 minutes before the vows where he's explaining how and why the woman can leave the man.
What is it that makes it so difficult for a Muslim woman to approach the topic of divorce?
If in any situation you depart from the marriage,
Are dating apps haram?
when a man and a woman are together, the third magical being that appears is Satan.
Majority religion versus minority religion. There's that feeling of trying to not let what's happening in other countries affect the harmony here in Singapore.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut the episode here, but so far, if you're enjoying our conversation, there's going to be a part 2, so do come back for that. In the meantime, thank you very much, Ustazah, for joining us today and
Thank you for
sharing
having
everything with
me.
us so far. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.